of a lot, as we haven't really mentioned much since the deadline about the NHL, just letting things play out here. But the first bit of news is the Vancouver Canucks are still dealing with COVID. Looks like there are still 22 members of the organization still dealing with sickness. Um, early reports are coming out that players are in fear of coming back too early or of playing in that many games in that short amount of time to try to make everything up for the playoffs. So I think personally, I think it would be a great decision for them to just shut her down for the rest of the year, let everybody get healthy, get back to full strength, and come back next year. So that's kind of like a big thing. And then another team also dealing with that, the Colorado Avalanche, today now have had their third person in the COVID protocol as well. So their next 3 games are postponed currently at the moment. So that's not good to see. The NHL dealing with all this COVID with about 10 games to go before the playoffs start. So it's not really good to see them having to shuffle and reschedule all these games as teams are preparing, to go ahead for that long battle as it is the Stanley Cup playoffs. Um, Austin Matthews was out last game, out injured. It didn't really say what it was. They ended up losing to Winnipeg. It shows the top goal scorer, as Austin Matthews is this season in the NHL, how crucial it is for him to be out there on the ice with the Maple Leafs. And some other injury news as well. Austin or Jack Eichel, Buffalo Sabres captain, who has kind of been out for a long period of time at this point, has now officially been ruled out the rest of the year with a herniated disc in his neck. They were going to try to get him back for the end of the season, but since they're kind of been out of the race for a long time now, and him just must be wanting to take extra time to heal. So they're hoping he's going to make it back next season at the beginning of the year, full health and ready to go, as he is a very dynamic hockey player in the NHL. Steven Stamkos, Tampa Bay Lightning, also is going to be out here. He will be out till at least May 2nd on the injury reserve list. Lower body injury. He did have abdominal core surgery last year, which kept him out of the latter half of the year and basically the whole Stanley Cup playoff run. He did get back for game 3 of the finals, which he did score a goal. So shout out to Stammer for being an animal. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it's kind of the same story for them again. Hopefully he gets back. So if he gets back on time, he'll be back with about 5 games left in the NHL season. So hopefully he can get back to full strength here before they look to make a deep run again in the playoffs, as they're one of the top teams. Shout out to Wisconsin native, Stevens Point native, really, Cole Caulfield, as he was called up to the taxi squad today for the Canadians. Colin, when do you think the Hobie Baker Award winner will take the ice in Montreal?
I mean, Montreal is still in the running for having a playoff appearance. So if they make a run into the playoffs, it'd be nice to see him get some time on the ice, get in a couple shifts to get a guy fresh out of college some playoff experience. That'd be huge for him. Obviously, within that organization, who knows what kind of their plan is for him. But for him to get called up that early, obviously they see a lot of potential in him. So again, be great to see an ex-Wisconsin Badger progress up into the pros quickly, and obviously he proved in his first game that he's there to get it done. So yeah, obviously they see a lot of potential in him.
Yeah, and his true goal scoring ability is just awesome. It's really neat to see, especially he isn't the biggest kid out there on the ice, but how he moves in his shot and just how he plays the game and sees the ice is just unbelievable, of how he gets himself in these positions to score all the goals that he does. Like you mentioned in his his short stint that he had in the AHL with the Laval Rockets, he was putting up points. He had a game winner in his first game. Kids clearly ready to take on the NHL, and I hope they get him in before the playoffs come, so he gets used to the speed. Obviously, the speed from the college to the AHL is one jump, but from the AHL to the NHL is going to be another jump. And from all the stories and things I've heard from either talking to people or whether it's a Spit and Chicklets podcast or what have it, the AHL is more of a battle and a grind than the NHL. Like once you make it to the NHL, everybody's kind of out there on the same, like everybody understands and realizes like, hey, we've made it. Where the AHL is just such a grind to even crack an NHL roster, whether you're going to get scratched or not. So yeah, hopefully he gets to take the ice soon, and that'd be amazing. And the last bit of news here before I just go over some of the scores from the other night that really mean anything. Patrick Marlow. Shout out to Patty Marlow, as he's going to be the holder of all-time record for games played the NHL. He's 3 away from passing Gordie Howe right now with like 9 games to go, 10 games to go. So he was drafted number 2 in the 1997 NHL draft, and he has been kicking her ever since. He's been solid. I mean, he's had a hell of a career, and he's been a very awesome player to watch and really appreciate from loving the game of hockey since being a little kid. So awesome to see this happen and the record set. That's a tall task to get to, of playing that many games, dealing with all the injuries and the 82 game seasons, and then the playoffs is its own beast of itself. It's just amazing to see. So shout out to you, Patty. That's just unbelievable. I can't believe it. So, and then just a couple scores from last night. My Flyers fucking beat the Pens in the shootout. Couturier, amazing forehand backhand goal, little top shelf action right from the crease. It was a great move to see that done. The Capitals got downed by the wounded Sabres. That was an interesting game to watch. One piece of news that I did hear from that game, the goalie that played for Buffalo, that was his first win in the NHL since his dad has passed away. So shout out to him. What an amazing moment that is to get a W, especially against one of the top teams in the East right now. So that's an amazing moment. Just gives you goosebumps, really realizing what that must feel like to be in that situation. As I said, the Leafs lost. The Blackhawks lost again to the Red Wings. They now put themselves in kind of a tough position. They're 4 points outside of the playoffs right now with 8 games left, as they just were in that 4th spot, like, I don't know, a week and a half ago, pretty comfortably. Nashville's been on a roll, and they caught them. So tough road for the Hawks at this point. Montreal calling up Caulfield, great move. They have a 4-point cushion on Calgary with 3 games in hand. So they could potentially be giving the Leafs a run for the money, being that number 1 seed when they get all caught up, and as it's said and done. My Flyers pretty much done. With Boston winning last night, that pretty much almost secures that in the bag, as they got to play Buffalo again. But who knows, if Buffalo can keep making the last push at the end of the year and hoping to upset some teams as they try to start their playoff run, that'd be pretty cool.